Okay, this video is going to deal with methods that have return values. It's going to incorporate some new vocabulary, new terminology that we need to make sure we understand and know so that that'll help with communication. And so here we go. So we start with, of course, the main method here. And we have another method that we're going to call later on up here. And so we start here, and then this of course is a declaration. So num1 is declared in the and reserved memory location. It's assigned 7. Num2 is assigned 3. And then we're going to go ahead and declare another variable here, reserve a memory location, but not assign any value to it. The next line of code is going to have something a little bit new. It's going to have something old and something new. And so the new thing here is this line of, or this part of the line of code. And that should look familiar to you. So if we were to have, let's say, this line right here all by itself, you would say, well, this is a method call. And it would have two arguments that would pass to both would be passed to the method called calculator. Okay, so this is also a method call. The only difference here is you'll notice that this one in yellow is not the entire line, and that's the thing that messes people up. So here it's the entire line. Here the method call is part of a line. So we'll move on from here. Alright, so you can see here that this is a method call right here. The next thing that we need to see is we're going to discuss here, and this is, remember, you should be writing this stuff down here. I hope you're writing things down on your notes here. But you'll notice this method call has a return value. Whenever you see a variable being assigned the method call, then that means the method call is going to have a return value. Otherwise it will not. So the method call has a return value like a variable call has a return value. And so of course we see a method call or a variable call right here with num1. This calls num1 and it returns the value 7 to here, which, and this of course gets passed to the method that's being called. So anyways, this, you're going to see here in a little bit that this method call has a return value. Alright, so we already know then well, what's going to happen is the first thing the compiler is going to do this line is actually act on the method call. And of course we know that a method call invokes or wakes up a method. So the next place the compiler goes to is to the method header or the method declaration. Now when the compiler gets to the method declaration, it has a couple things that it's got to do here. It's got to declare num1 and declare num2. And so the first thing it's going to do then is it's going to reserve memory locations in the computer memory for these two variables. So here are the variables that we are declared. They're set up a memory location here and here. And remember, these are called parameter variables. Down here, these are arguments, and they were passed from the method call to the method header, and then there you have it. So now what happens is then this memory location acts as a catcher's glove and catches the pass by the method call. And so what was passed was the value of num1, which was 7. And so up here we have a 7. 7 is being stored in there. And n2, num2 has the value 3, and that's passed up here. Alright, so there we are. So now these values are able to be called within this method here because they are now in scope to this method. And so there's one more thing here before we continue that we need to clarify or indicate, and that's this data type here. Now before we've been saying void all the time, and so what that place is, what that's called before the data type, or before the name of the method, what that's called is a return type. Alright, so this right here is a return type, int. Now before, when it said void, that means empty. That means there was no return type because there was no return. And so this method is going to actually return a value back to the main method later on. The data type, this is the data type of the value being returned to the method call. This can be an int, it could be a double, it could be a string, it could be a number of things. Any of the data types it can be, and that would be the return type. So it has nothing to do with these being ints. You could have, if you had a double, let's say if you said this is a string and this is a double, okay, then you see int is still going to be the return type. So that's the point. Alright, so now this method carries out its thing with the 7 and the 3 that was passed, and so it finds the sum of them, so that's 10, and then down here finds the difference, which is 4, and then the next calculation is the product of those two, which is 40. So there's your values in the memory locations, and then it comes down to this all-important statement right here. Now this statement right here is called a return statement. That's the term we'll use. It returns the value to the method call. So it's going to return what value? It's going to return the value of the variable product. And so remember, this right here is actually a variable call. So it's calling the memory location called product and saying, what is your value? And 40 is returned. So really, it's saying return 40. Now, 40 gets returned to the method call. And so we take this thing right here, this 40, now it comes back directly to the method call. Now here's what happens then. We can get rid of this and get rid of this and bring up this. So look at what happens then. Is this line now becomes new num is assigned 40. That's easy. We've been doing that. And so new num becomes 40. Now I do have a picture of this here, and the reason I have this picture is I typed the word neglect in Google Images, and this is what it gave me. And oops, let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff. So this, just like this poor child is being neglected because everybody's on their phones, new num gets neglected. Students will see the method call and they'll see that it's returned 40, and they'll go, I don't know what to do next. Well, read. It says new num is assigned 40. So oftentimes new num gets neglected and the 40 doesn't get assigned to it and it's a big mess. So don't neglect the variable in front of a method call, because new num is being assigned this 40, and here we are. And so then the print statement actually does a method call, or I'm sorry, a variable call. Oh wow, I'm having troubles with this. And so this calls new num, and so it goes our new number, and then it says 40. Alright, that is how it works, and then here is an example of how it works. Here's the same program right here. Alright, and we'll just prove to you that it does work. And so it says our new number is 40, and that is exactly how it works.